Live.
We are live again. Yes. Sorry for the minor interruption. Sometimes I feel like BookTube SFF in particular has a problem with the Google Hangouts YouTube deal, which you would think is counterintuitive because we're all the science fiction fantasy people. Like, we should know computers.
See, those are actually really good stories when it's people who are like, oh, we are super technical and really skilled. Oh, God, what is this thing that is totally messing with us anyway?
Yeah. But, Mitchie, I don't know if you can start telling us about your tattoo again. I know we kind of got cut off.
No, that's totally fine. So Galen Dara's cover for issue 10. As we were saying, that the woman on the cover actually has a space unicorn tattoo on her left arm. That is the tattoo that I'm going to get for my very first sleeve, because I've got 2 giant back pieces. I'm going to give my back a break for a while because, dear God, tattoos on your lower back region, especially around rib area, around your kidneys, close to your spine. I don't recommend doing that and getting your final ink session in that area the day after you've had a migraine. Terrible idea.
Too many nodes.
No, I wasn't thinking. And then my tattoo artist is like, you realize that your pain tolerance is actually less than it would be on a good day. I'm like, no, I actually didn't think about that. I just wanted to get it finished. I'm not complaining about the results. I am going to complain forever about my decision to sit in that chair that day.
No kidding.
But on the shoulder should be fine, because it's a lot of muscle. It's not a lot of vital organ areas that you're naturally going to have more sensitive nerves around there. And just like looking at the size of the design, I'm hoping I can get it done in 2 sessions tops, because both my tattoos, it took 3 sessions that were between 3 to 5 hours each for them to finish.
Wow. Do you guys find that you get a lot of like weird art related, like cover related specifically, or like unicorn inspired tattoos pictures sent to you? Because I imagine that would be a thing.
No, we have not had many of those.
No.
So
if anybody wants to send us fan art, send us fan art.
We
will put up your fan art.
Be careful what you wish for. You might find yourself inundated with space unicorn tattoo pictures.
I will take that. And as I don't know if it got cut off, anyone who does get a space unicorn tattoo based on anything on Uncanny will get a lifetime subscription to the ebooks.
I'm so tempted right now.
It's worth it. That's
totally worth it.
Value.
Work with your tattoo artist, people. You too can have a lifetime subscription to Uncanny Magazine.
It'll pay off in 20 years. It'll be cool.
So the art is really fantastic, actually, for Uncanny, kind of building off of this. Where are you guys finding all of your artists? Are they people who you solicit to come and do your cover art? Are they people who you've worked with in the past?
A little bit of both. When basically Lynn and Lynn had some, we both have a little bit of at least art history training. We're not really artists, but we kind of became art directors during our time at Apex. We were choosing the covers. And when we did Uncanny, originally, we had planned originally to just do reprint covers, and then the Kickstarters kept going well, and that was a stretch goal many times, was original covers. So we were doing a mixture of working with artists that we had worked with at Apex, working with artists that we were discovering just on our own, and we also have a lot of friends in the industry who will point out and just send us emails going, hey, have you seen this artist? We are open to art portfolio submissions. We rarely get things that we pick there, but it does happen. So it's kind of a mixture of all 3. We only do 6 a year, so it usually works out to 3 original covers, 3 reprint covers. The reprint covers, that's just us searching and going through portfolios and picking things we like. And then Mitchie's husband Jesse is walking around.
That's okay. Pay no attention to the man walking around behind me.
With the original covers, we talk to the artist, and then just kind of say, hey, what do you want? We may have an idea, they may have an idea, then they send us some sketches, then we give it the okay, and it's a lot like soliciting a story, and then we go back and forth, and we've had really great luck with it. I mean, I'm very, very happy with our covers. Tronwyn's cover for issue 4 won 2 major SF Art Awards. So,
I'm going to cosplay that cover someday. I'm going to figure out a way to make it happen.
So yeah.
I mean, they're beautiful. Every time they come out on the Bookdernet goes crazy. We're like, have you seen Uncanny's cover?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. When I was getting my resubscription, I was like, oh, shall I get like the Amazon one because it's really convenient? And I got it, and I was like, I can't see the covers. This is terrible.
Oh no!
What?
I think it was just the way I had my Kindle set up.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like freaking because I was like, this is very necessary.
Yeah, it should in theory because I know we set it up that way on Amazon.
Yeah, but it was just I had it like whatever was going on was wrong, and it was not good. It was not good for my...
I'll email you the JPEGs.
And then the other thing you guys are actually just super stellar about is the mixed medium kind of aspect of your storytelling in the magazine. So there's short stories, there's novellas, there's poetry, which I think is kind of uncommon in the magazine kind of literary world as far as my experience.
There's a few,
and also nonfiction. I'm sorry?
There are a few others, but...
Yeah. So what do you look for in your content? Is there a particular feel, aside from kind of squee-worthy, that you go for?
I will let Mitchie answer first the nonfiction question, because that is Mitchie's wheelhouse.
Yeah, actually nonfiction is where I love writing fiction. I would actually like to get back to it, but nonfiction is really where my heart really sits. So I love getting to work with the essays, and it's looking for a mix of, there's a good mix of critical voice and also just being able to have pieces where people are writing about things that mean something to them. It's still that something that makes you feel like a good piece of nonfiction has a sharp critical analysis bit to it, but also you're getting the feeling that this is somebody who is writing something that it really means something to them. They're not just sharing the opinions that they have, but they're also sharing how those opinions have been shaped by their experiences. I think that's a really important part of when you're talking about nonfiction, is that we all have viewpoints, we all have perspectives, and they shape the opinions that we have. And it's such a joy to work with writers who are able to do that, where there's a distinct voice to their nonfiction, the same way that you will read a piece of fiction and you can tell who wrote it, because everybody has that very distinctive voice. It's the same thing with nonfiction. So those are the sort of things that we love to be able to share.
Yeah, I think our nonfiction very much reflects our roots with our essay books, which were very much we're a mixture of fact and memoir. With why do we love comics? Why do we love Doctor Who? And so we've sort of kept that. Sometimes we go heavy memoir on the essay. Sometimes they get a little bit more analytical, but we also like to have that range of different voices from different places. And just being, I think the word is passionate. That I want everything in our magazine to be passionate about a thing, whether it's the nonfiction, the poetry, the stories. I want you to be able to read all the feeling that went into that piece when you read it. That the author clearly cares about this thing that they have written, that it is important to them. That I don't necessarily want them to empty a vein to do it, but it's still that feeling of I've put a little bit of myself out there. The poetry, that was something that we did for a while at Apex, because Kat Valenti had introduced poetry there. And I brought it over here, and recently we've added a full poetry editor in Julia Rios, who is amazing. She had been a fiction editor at Strange Horizons and has done some anthologies for 12th Planet Press, I think Kaleidoscope, and the Year's Best YA. So it's been great to have Julia there dealing with just having that someone who can focus on poetry and get some of the best poets out there, and some established names too. We've got actually kind of 3 not unknown poets this month coming out in the next issue. in that we do have Theodora Goss, Sophia Samatar, and Neil Gaiman. So
Nice.
Yep.
That's a great lineup.
That is not a bad lineup. But the poetry is important, and that's the thing. One thing about Uncanny, we wanted everything needs. When we were designing Uncanny, we were all talking about it, and we continue with this even now. Julia's added to the team. It's like we wanted Uncanny to be a complete experience from cover to cover. That from the art, the poetry, the nonfiction, everything is important, and all of it works together and kind of encompasses this community passion thing that means so much to all of us. We didn't want to just we have this thing over here. All of it has to work together as a whole.
Very cool. No, that makes total sense.
So is there a thing, fiction-wise, you've spoken about nonfiction, about how it's something that people have put like a piece of themselves into. Is that the same feeling you get from the fiction and from the poetry and stuff? Or is that what makes an uncanny story an uncanny story? I
think it's... Mitchie, do you mind if I...
Nope, you are the editor-in-chief, and you do a lot of the fiction readings.
Okay. With the fiction, part of it starts with Lynn and I was just having this conversation with a friend as she was pointing this out, because she has been an editor and writer for 30, 40 years, is that she noticed that we have a commitment to beautiful sentences. That the actual prose itself, and that's where it starts with us, is we want this gorgeous, wonderful prose that just kind of, bounces in your brain, sentences that just kind of stick there, that evoke places and times and emotions. And for a lot of people to get that, I mean, for some of them, they have, and I feel like this is a trust with a lot of the writers we have, that they have sent us some of their more personal stories. And so I don't want to say they all, that it's always, this is my heart, this is everything. But I think we do tend to get a lot of those stories from writers where they take that, and they know that they can take risks. We don't mind experimenting. We don't mind putting multiple languages in a story. We don't mind, like we're going to do an Alyssa Wong, Grace P. Fong piece coming up, where Alyssa's telling the prose story and Grace is telling part of the story in art, and These are all things that we want to do. We want the stories to take risks. We want them to be unexpected. Like when you get to a part in the story, it's not that we want to do the surprise Twilight Zone twist, but we want you to go, I did not see, wow, I didn't really feel that coming, but of course it was going to be that. This is amazing. And that's kind of, when we're reading, we want that out of a story. And the same with the poetry. The poetry, which is the gorgeous lines that just flow one into the other. That kind of make you, once again, they evoke things. They evoke different kinds of things in you when you read them.
That's such a good description with the beautiful lines. And I feel like that works even in the nonfiction, that it's so well written. Like it's really like pulling at you with something that's really there. It's lovely, but yes.
Nonfiction for me is still telling a story. You're not telling a story the same way fiction does, but those same elements are there, and I think that's what really makes some of the pieces that we have. That's what makes an uncanny nonfiction piece. It's still a story being told. It's just not it's not a fiction story.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we also were talking about is the diversity of content and people kind of working in and for the magazine. This seems really intuitive, I think, to a lot of people who are kind of on this section of the internet, but is also surprisingly not.
Yeah.
I always forget how insulated I can be in my little yay diversity world.
Yeah.
How do you approach kind of trying to integrate that into Uncanny, or do you find that it just kind of comes naturally?
Naturally. I mean,
naturally.
Yes and no. I mean, we have. I mean, part of it is that we tried to build a diverse staff, as I think you can see. Most, I think, barring Mitchie, I think most of us are queer. And sorry, Mitchie.
Not token straight person's totally fine.
But on our masthead, on the cover, we have 4 editors listed. 2 are women of color, or actually, Julia identifies genderqueer. But it's when we have these things, we try to first surround ourselves with diverse people working on the magazine, and then we tend to just, this is our taste, and this is what we are seeing, most of the stories that come to us, the poetry, and, these are things that are just filled with, these voices. And I think part of it is that we all respond to a certain kind of authenticity in voice. We want strong voices in everything we do, which is, I think another way of saying the passion and stuff. So when we feel that, and wow, we are hearing your own voice. We are hearing a voice we don't always hear, and that is a beautiful voice, and we want to share this with the world. That's, I think, how we react. So, Mitchie?
Well, I think it's also, I said this in my Hugo speech. One of the things that made a huge difference for me was it's not like I hadn't been doing work in the community, but and it's not like I hadn't been a fan my whole life, but I didn't really have a lot of connections to people. There's the body of work that I've done as a speaker, as a community organizer. There are my bona fides as, my professional experience in editing, which is pretty much what I've been doing since college, is editing and writing. I've managed publications for associations, but there's always that barrier to entry, particularly if you don't know people in the community and in the genre you're trying to break into. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Lynn and Michael, got to know me as a person, they took a look at my work, and even though I don't have any name cachet in the genre or anything like that, they still looked at it, they gave me a chance, and it's been a huge difference. Like, this is 2 years. We're working now in year 3 in Uncanny, and it's like my life has gone from 0 to 100 in ways that I can't possibly, it's super hard to articulate, because I'm still sitting there. It's like, I have a Hugo Award. And I was like, holy crap, how is this my life? And I was both the first Filipina to be nominated for Hugo and the first to win one. I mean, and that happened because people like Lynn and Michael reached out and gave me a chance. Yeah. And that is a huge, huge thing. I don't think a lot of people understand how much of a difference it can make when you open the door to people, particularly if they are new, if they are people who haven't had a lot of chances to connect with others in the community, because there are systemic barriers in a lot of different ways. And I love the fact that Uncanny can be this is what we do. We reach out to new people, we look for new voices, and being able to share all of those voices new alongside people who have been established in the community, that makes a huge difference for people.
Yeah, I mean, that is and maybe I was underselling what we do, because we are actively looking for diverse voices. I mean, we do go actively reading at conventions. Like Mitchie will attest at a WisCon. Mitchie will run up to every author of color, she says, and will squee at them and sell Uncanny. This is
let me throw stickers at you here.
Yeah. But it is something where we try to be active in the community, show that we find the voices, ask them to be a part of our magazine, and then encourage them, encourage people. I mean, encourage queer writers, women, authors of color, international, non-US authors. These are all voices we want to hear. These are voices we think belong in a magazine like ours, that we want to share with people. And so it's kind of a mixture of finding them and encouraging, and then making it feel that it is safe to have your own voice in our magazine. I think, and there have been other, places that have been where they have felt that they had to alter their voice for the markets, or alter it, to take out stuff, or to work for that cishet white dude in America who they think, is reading science fiction. And that's not who we care. I mean, they're nice guys, whatever, but we are not, our magazine is not probably, it's not necessarily shooting just for them. We want people
they're
to
not
see
everybody.
Yeah.
We don't automatically default. So our automatic default is anyone who loves science fiction, and everyone gets to see themselves.
Exactly. Thank you, Mitchie, for articulating that much better than me.
I think as a reader, you get a real sense of that. Like, it feels more reflective of I mean, you call it, Mitchie, in your Hugo speech, you called it professional fandom, and it feels so much more reflective of the kind of fandom community that you find if you go into the broader internet and kind of delve and dig, and get past, the initial, I don't know, Reddit page.
Yeah.
It's a positive, it's a positive thing. It's really refreshing to see it and see it actively done and done well.
Well, one of the things I maybe hesitant about getting involved in professional fandom before was that I had been in communities where you're given the test, and you're particularly given that test if you are a woman, if you're a person of color, God forbid, you're multiple identities all at the same time. And what I love about how we've been creating Uncanny's community is that you're not expected to know who somebody is. You're not expected to have read some arbitrary canon in order to understand and in order to be considered a fan. You love your stuff. You love sci-fi. You love fantasy. Whatever it is, we want you here because you love stuff. Right. And that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Or even hate some stuff.
Oh yeah, there's that too, because we have opinions.
There is anger. There's sometimes anger. Lots of anger. But
ask me how I feel.
That's how you make your best friend, right? You hate just the people who hate the same things.
Well, it's like Natalie Lures today, and I've been tweeting about how much we love Person of Interest, and that's like, I like being able to make friends who like the same things, and then we can go off about it's. You can also make friends with people who also hate the same things. I mean, like, ask me about how I feel about Iron Fist and Doctor Strange sometime. But
upcoming blog post.
Several upcoming blog posts.
Yeah. Well, that's something to look forward to. I poked around your blog, not to be a total Google stalker. I was like, oh, look at this and look at this. So we'll have an eye on it. I'll make sure to link that. And Michael, you have a website as well.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's a sad, dusty thing since I've started Uncanny.
Yeah, that sort of happened in my blog too. And then both Michael and I are actually we're going to be writing columns for Uncanny's blog. That is also the thing we have. Because we made that level of our Kickstarter reward.
Yeah,
more
work for us.
We have we're still going to have Liz Argall's Things comic every month, reacting to pieces of work in Uncanny, and then Max and Amal will have a monthly column. Max and Amal Go to the Movies, which I'm super excited for. Michael is going to be writing a column on Doctor Who because, of course. And I know
right now I am so hiding my fandom on this video.
Yeah,
you would never guess.
Back there, I mean, that's just one set of shelves.
One wall.
Out of
that's
many.
Just one of many walls of Doctor Who stuff. Yeah.
Nice. And I'll be doing a column where it's I haven't quite nailed the title, but it's going to be about finding myself through fandom, because that's been a lot of what I've been doing is interrogating my identity as a woman, as Filipina, as a woman of color, and how that's actually been reflected in a lot of my fandom choices and how I've related to fandom, different things. Mm-hmm. So I'm super looking forward to writing that. Also going to be drinking a lot of bourbon because there will be feelings, and Feelings and I are still trying to work out our relationship.
That's fair.
That's yeah.
Bourbon makes feelings easier.
There might be a lot of me like going and picking up my cats and hugging them while I'm in the middle of writing my blog pieces.
Well, you'll have to like Instagram you writing your blog pieces and holding your cats with your bourbon.
hopefully the cats.
Bourbon and cats. That sounds like not a problem.
These are things people can connect to.
Yeah.
What we just call it bourbon, cats, and feelings.
I'll just have another, Mitchie just made another tin of brownies and is stuffing them into her face, and this is me eating my feelings.
So you're the day to visit you then is the day when you're making the brownies and having the bourbon and the cacao.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
No, shoot, you can't have the feelings brownies.
Mitchie will always share her
I have to
feelings
make my own
brownies.
feelings
I will
brownies.
always share my feelings brownies. Although, like with this, I think the piece that I'm working on for my first column, because I read Sarah Kuhn's Heroine Complex, and it gave me so many feelings. I have been manifesting my feelings in Spam Musubi, and I've been making a lot of that lately. So,
Oh, fantastic! I've been meaning to pick that up actually.
read it. Oh my God, read it.
I'm a little nervous because everyone's so excited about it, but then I'm like, but I'm so excited about it too. Can I ask? So this is something I've always wondered. How many slush readers do you have at Uncanny?
Oh yeah.
Well, my husband is one actually.
Have Jesse come in now.
Yeah. Jesse's writing his own science fiction stuff right now. So
Okay, we'll leave Jesse alone. I believe we usually have between 12 and 17 readers,
Okay.
which turns out to be not nearly enough. So we will probably have to increase that again. As we are getting more popular, and because we tend to be open in smaller windows, we have been getting just kind of a deluge of submissions. So we probably could use it.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's not a complaint. Just in order to get the things back to writers in a timely manner, we probably could use a few more bodies. So
for sure. That makes sense. So increased blog posts. We've got new art, new stories coming up, game and poetry. What else do we have to look forward to in this next upcoming year?
You know what? Just because we just finally locked it as of today, why don't I first give you the issue 13 table of contents?
Oh yes,
It's an exclusive to people watching this.
Oh my gosh!
So the cover is called Impact Crater by Julie Dillon, and
Julie Dillon.
Everyone who sees it, I think, will love it.
Oh, that cover's amazing.
So the original fiction this month is by Paul Cornell, Brooke Bolander, Jennifer Marie Brissett, Alex Bledsoe, Kat Howard, and Nalo Hopkinson.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah.
Fandom squeeze. Fandom squeeze.
Our reprint is only a reprint by all of 2 weeks. It's a story by Amal El-Motar from the upcoming anthology from Saga Press, The Starlit Wood. So, So we are Saga is actually our sponsor for this issue. So they have very generously, and same with Amal, generously, one of the stories from that antho, which is coming out on Tuesday, on October 18th, will be in Uncanny in November. This is the issue that comes out on November 1st. The nonfiction is by Alyssa Wong, Monica Valentinelli. Saga editor Nava Wolf is doing a column as part of this month. Tansy Rayner Roberts, Kadra Cheney, and something that's already run Hao Zhengfeng essay that we did run already on our blog, but we wanted to put it in the issue.
Yeah.
Poetry, Neil Gaiman, Theodora Goss, Sophia Samatar, and the interviews are with Jennifer Marie Brissett and Alex Bledsoe.
I think our whole audience has just turned into a big puddle. They're just telling melted.
So
I'm just avoiding making really high-pitched noises.
Right.
Well, Mitchie has just finished basically reading the issue, and what did you think, Mitchie?
Lots of feelings. I can't wait for everybody to read all of this, and I love the fiction. I think a lot of there are a couple pieces in our original fiction that just kind of blows my mind with what people can do with 1,000, with 1,500 words for a piece of fiction. I'm like, how? I can't imagine that story being any longer, because it's, sometimes being longer would actually like kill the momentum of the narrative. But what people can do with that few words for a short story, I'm going to keep reading some of these over and over and trying to dissect how you actually do this. I'm really happy with the nonfiction too. We've got if we're talking about essays that give you feelings, lots of feelings in these essays. Really, really great things to say too. So
Alyssa is writing about how she found marginalized villains to be a thing, the character she identified with early on as a reader.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna
You know,
be good.
and talking
It's
about
so
villains.
good.
It's really good. Kedra is actually a friend of mine, and she runs a website called The Learned Fangirl. So if you're into academic essays and critical analysis about fandom issues, I highly recommend checking out the work that they do, because they do long form, like 2,000 plus word essays. They also they pay really well, so I would definitely advise pitching to them if you want to do long form essays on those type of topics. But she's writing about being a fan, being a professional, and living with a chronic illness. And it's a, you know, she really digs deep about a lot of that and what that means for her ability to be a fan and also to run a website like Learned Fangirl.
Yeah, Monica Valentinelli is a game writer along with being a writer, and
Monica's awesome.
Monica is awesome, and this is an essay which is basically her going through her entire life of being erased over and over again as a woman creator and fan, and just the fight that she always has to be recognized for her work. And
it's right here. It's just there's so much air punching reading that essay.
Nava Wolf's essay. She is one of the co-editors with Dominic Parisian of the Starlit Wood, which is a group of fairy tale retellings. Which one of the reasons why we're so keen on this is it's almost all uncanny writers and almost all stories that we would have bought if offered to us. So I'm a big fan of this anthology. But it talks about how much stories mean to her and fairy tales and growing up. What fairy tales mean, and growing up with the retellings that were in a lot of anthologies by Terry Windling and Ellen Datlow. If you read those back in the 90s and aughts.
I had those anthos back in the 90s.
I'm increasingly happy for my collection of Ellen Datlow works or collections.
And then Tansy Rayner Roberts is talking about how the movie Avengers basically destroyed superhero movies, especially the Justice League.
Oh, I cannot wait for people to read that one because
there will be words.
There will be words. I really liked a lot of the things that she pointed out. Like it's a good analysis essay. So
cool.
I love her in-depth knowledge of Avengers stuff. It's kind of terrifying.
And it's deconstructing a lot. Like here's how they built the Avengers into movies, into a franchise, and why that, like, what lessons were the wrong lessons to take. So it's really, really good.
Oh, that sounds really good.
And it is, as Mitchie said, it's a really, I think, I love the fiction this month. And a lot of the stories are in dialogue. Like Kat Howard and Alex Bledsoe both ended up writing stories that were the Arthurian knights, based on Arthurian legends and knights. Yeah. And they are taking completely different angles. So they're in kind of interesting dialogue with each other. So I'm very happy with this issue. I cannot wait for people to read it in a couple weeks.
Yep. Starting off year 3, really, really, I'm super excited with how we're going to start off year 3 with this.
Year 3 should be exciting. And, if anyone, followed our Kickstarter, go back to the Kickstarter page, you'll know who our solicited authors are. And hopefully we will keep having these amazing stories coming out. I'm really excited about some of the things that are coming up.
Oh, we're all really excited for it as well.
Especially after that little preview.
Yes, absolutely. Again, puddles on the floor in front of computer screens.
Yeah, there are people like Nalo we have been dreaming to work with since we became editors. So to be publishing a story by her is...
Yeah. There's every time I get the fiction in my email with like, oh hey, here's what they're going in the next issue. They need to go through copy edits. I just see the names on the files, and there's these little like screeching noises coming up, coming from my desk.
And the poetry, obviously people are fond of that Neil Gaiman guy. So
So I've heard.
He's doing all right.
I hear he's got he's a thing.
But also
on the internet or something.
Yeah. But Sophia Samatar and Theodora Goss wrote 2 of the most beautiful poems we've ever had. They're just
really gorgeous.
Those 2, what they can do with words, it is phenomenal. So there's so much. We're very proud of this issue, and proud of every issue. But hopefully the whole year will be like this. It's very exciting times for us.
Very cool.
And we have World Fantasy coming up, where we're nominated for World Fantasy Awards. So.
Yep, Michael would be at World Fantasy, end of the month? End of the month.
Yep. End of the month, I will be in glamorous Columbus, Ohio at the World I can say this. I'm from lived in Champaign-Urbana. I know similar cities, so I'm sure Columbus is going to be great. Yeah, there'll be glamour, so much glamour. But yeah, it's exciting because 2 Uncanny stories are nominated along with Uncanny. So it's been a really good year. We're very happy with everything.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, one of the last things we kind of do at Booktuber that we normally will do is mention the books or the stories that we're reading now.
Mhm.
So, Michael, would you like to start?
Without giving away terrible spoilers.
Without giving away terrible spoilers, or we understand.
Reading right now, I am in the middle of a bunch of things, but okay, this is a thing that I'm going to admit now, and then people are going to judge me. Except for Mitch, you already said no judging about canon.
Yep.
I've never read a Connie Willis novel, so
Neither have I, frankly.
I've only read one recently.
okay.
I read Blackout recently. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so I will not be judged here. Someone at home will probably be judging me, but so I am reading To Say Nothing of the Dog for the first time.
Okay.
So I just picked that up on a friend's recommendation, and I'm really, so far it is as funny and as charming as I was hoping it would be.
Cool.
Awesome.
Because I read the Doomsday Book first, and I wanted to die inside. I mean, it was lovely. It was really good, but it's so sad.
Oh.
New thing that I want to, the two books I've read that are new this year that I really want to push, though, are Borderline by Michelle Baker, which is one of the best.
Oh, that's on my list. I need to
You need to read it.
Yeah, it's great. It's brilliant. One of the best voices in fantasy I've read in a long time. Just great character, great. I mean, it takes, because I do like urban fantasy quite a bit, and I think because the character is so intriguing, the voice is so strong. And then one more time, The Starlit Wood, which is just, as someone who's edited anthologies, it's very hard to get an anthology that is that consistent from beginning to end. And with authors like Charlie Jane Anders and Sean McGuire and Catherine M. Valenti and Garth Nix,
Marjorie
and
Liu's in
Tidbick,
it.
Marjorie
Oh my
Liu,
God.
Sophia Samatar, Daryl Gregory. It is just Amela Motar, Max Gladstone, and so many others, and Naomi Novik spinning silver in there. I will say that I love many Uncanny stories, and I think many Uncanny stories but Spinning Silver is one of the best stories of the year I've read. And Mouse too. It's just so. Which Naomi
Literally
Novik.
ordering it right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I need to actually go to the bookstore down the street and see if I can get it on pre-order, because this is one I think where I'd actually want the physical copy.
It is also a physically beautiful book.
Yeah, that cover's ridiculous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, the thing is, it's embossed. So that's not just a beautiful cover. It's an embossed cover, and then there's interior artwork on every story.
So you actually do need a copy.
Take my money.
It is. Yeah, Dominic and Nava put together a gorgeous book, and as someone like, because I have done the anthology thing before, and maybe doing it again. That's something that could be in my future. So, yeah, I am very judgmental, quietly, inside of anthologies.
So that just means I would love to do a nonfiction, like an essay anthology at some point, which means I will just have to make sure I pick Michael's brain.
You will pick my brain, and I will read it, and I will tell you all the good things and keep everything else to myself.
See, I would be asking you because I would figure you would tell me the things that I need to avoid and I can fix before anybody else sees them.
Yeah.
So, Michi, what are you reading and loving right now?
Okay, I'm one of those people who reads multiple things at the same time. So I just finished Cindy Pond's Serpentine and was like, why is it ending right there? Oh, look, there's a sequel. I can already get it. Got it on my Kindle like immediately after finishing the first book. So I'm finishing up the sequel, Sacrifice. I highly recommend both of them. They're absolutely fantastic. I'm also making my way through Mary Robinette Cole's Ghost Talkers, also similarly amazing. And I'm starting Ken Liu's Wall of Storms. That should be taking me a while because 850 pages.
Yeah, that's a chunker.
But it is, I really enjoyed Grace of Kings. I'm super excited to see where he takes this world in the next book. And I read a couple of really good reviews And a lot of people who I respect have said they've greatly enjoyed it. So I'm highly looking forward to it. Again, Sarah Kuhn's heroine complex, I have loved it so much. With a lot of the conversations that have been happening, particularly about Asian American representation and the exotification of Asian characters, particularly in genre fiction, reading a story where the protagonists are both Asian American women who are treated as two completely different people. And a lot of the things that she writes about are things that are normalized in a way that I've been conditioned to see as what you see when you read fiction with white characters. Like somebody's walking around just like eating a bag of Doritos and nobody thinks that's a big deal. Instead, you've got a character just talking about, I'm snacking on Spam musubi, or I'm having soup dumplings. And it's in a way that is totally normal. It's not as this, look at this exotic person sort of thing. I love rom-coms, and this is the type of book where I really hope there's some CW exec paying attention, because that show would totally go perfectly bookended with iZombie right now. So you need awesome Asian American representation characters, and you'd get a really cool like superhero show. And yeah, I watch a lot of TV, so I'm really enjoying Supergirl right now. It's nice to see a lighthearted superhero show instead of Superman glowering at the screen and feeling upset all the time. Superman in the Supergirl show was actually really awesome.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he was actually really good. It's closer to the Christopher Reeve spectrum of things, but it's not redoing Christopher Reeve, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he's the guy from Teen Wolf, isn't he?
Which I never watched, but he has apparently a lot of fans, so I've really been enjoying it.
There are too many shows now. I
Yeah,
can't
there are
keep
way
up with
too many.
shows.
Like Jesse and I are halfway through Luke Cage, and we haven't finished it, not because we don't want to, but because we don't have time. But I will point out, we mainlined those first 6 episodes all in a row because we were in for a Saturday. We didn't want to go anywhere, and just 6 episodes happened.
And then awful mean people make you like do PDF for the rest of the day of the magazine.
Oh no! It's like I have to do the PDF stuff, and then I also have a day job.
Yes.
And I have a show. I have a Rax Geek show coming up, which means I still need to buy my costume stuff.
Oh, we need more time. More time to watch the things.
More time to watch the things. So yeah, that's. I also just started reading the first graphic novel of Black Panther with the new arc, the first arc by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I'm really enjoying it.
Good to know.
Monstrous. I will push that graphic novel on everybody. It is, go and read it. It is mind-blowing. It's super, it's really incredible storytelling, and the artwork is gorgeous. Absolutely lush. It's beautiful. So, lots of things. I do like. You'll catch me like reading while I'm watching a TV show. Usually, I'm reading while Arrow is on because I'm sticking
only need
with
10 minutes of Arrow.
No, I'm sticking with Arrow out of sheer stubborn spite at this point. It's the 5th season. I think it's the last season. I just want to see what they're going to do with it.
How did they not kill it yet?
I don't know. They tried so hard.
It won't be killed. It'll be like Supernatural. It's just going to go on for the rest of eternity.
Oh, God. How many seasons is Supernatural now?
I believe there are 27.
No, that's The Simpsons.
Regardless, too many seasons of Supernatural.
Too many seasons. I'm just
going
to
go to me for saying that. But.
No, I just go back and watch Community over and over again because we have 6 seasons. Where's our goddamn movie?
Fair. Elizabeth, what you reading?
I am reading Binti by Nadia Crawford. I was literally reading it while we were waiting.
Yes.
Unsurprisingly, I'm already loving it because I love everything she writes, and I can't believe I didn't already read it.
Me too.
Sequel's coming out.
Yes, so I hear.
Oh, no!
I got my copy. It just came.
PDF in my inbox. I'm so jealous of you right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I just got the
can't
ARC.
The jealousy.
Ooh, I
I
should,
thought
check,
that might.
I should check
that
my
is-
Kindle. That means I should have it in my I should have it on my e-reader now.
Mm.
Oh my god.
No, this is the ARC. This
Oh,
is
it's
the
the ARC.
advanced reader copy.
Ah!
Whoa.
On sale January 27th. So this is the early version for reviewers and people. So
So wait, I was there last night. You didn't show that off when I was there last night.
because I didn't want to look around the house going, why is it gone? Where did it go?
Fair.
I will loan it to you as soon as I see you.
Yeah.
Give it to your
And,
Chicago TARDIS.
I also got this.
Oh,
recently, which
you're
is
gonna
the
love that.
Arc of After Atlas by Emma Newman,
Ah.
coming out very soon, and I'm
Next
very excited to start it. I read the first chapter already, and it's so good.
You're
So
gonna
good.
love it. All right. Well, then I'm reading Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I've got that in my bag somewhere halfway across the apartment, and then I've got the Tyrannosaurus Chronicles, which is a nonfiction but has some cool illustrations of dinosaur skeletons.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a good T-Rex.
Yeah, you can't not. All right, guys. Well, a big thank you to you, Michi and Michael, for coming and
Yeah.
hanging out with us
Oh,
for an
thank-
hour.
Thanks
you
so much for asking
having
us.
You know,
Yeah, it's exciting.
we're excited to be here. It was an honor.
And we look forward to this new year. Thanks to everybody who tuned in, and we will talk to you later.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.